beautiful day to you, our esteemed viewers from the Advent Cable Network, and welcome to another interesting episode of the program Disability Voice. I am Favor Ajara, your beautiful host. Disability Voice program is created basically to educate the general public and the church that persons with disability can be loved, can be educated, can be enabled, because disability is not a disease nor a stigma. It is also to advocate for the rights and the interest of persons with disability. Today, viewers will be looking at the topic, the importance of sign language to inclusion in the society. And with me in the studio to discuss this topic is Mr. Aderibigbe Oluwashola. Mr. Aderibigbe Oluwashola is the PRO of the Association of the Deaf, Abuja. You're welcome, sir. And also here in the studio, we have Mrs. Olarewaju Yemisi, and she is the sign language interpreter for today. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you.
So we'll go straight to the topic. Sir, we want you to tell us what you understand as a sign language.
Sign language is like any other spoken language. Sign language is a language that deaf people use to communicate. It is not limited to the deaf alone. Many people who are not deaf also learn sign language. Some are children of the deaf. Some are family of the deaf. Some are interpreter and friends of the deaf. Anybody can learn sign language to enable them to communicate with the deaf people. It is normally used by the deaf to communicate like any other language.
Thank you very much for defining sign language for us. So I still want you to tell us the difference between sign language and demonstration, because over time we've seen deaf persons saying this person did not know how to sign, and somebody who demonstrates cannot sign. Now, can you please tell us the difference between sign language and demonstration? Are these two different or they are the same?
They are far different. Sign language is the language that must be learned. You can't just imagine it. For example, the sign language. Okay, this word, sign, this is no. Then this is think.
It relates with the brain.
It's related to the brain.
If you want to think, you don't use hand.
You don't use hand.
You don't use mouth.
You don't use mouth. You use your brain.
That is
why the sign think like this come from. That is sign language. You learn it. To learn this sign mean think. Then demonstration is not sign language. It is people's imagination to try to communicate, which may lead to misunderstanding. For example, if you do like this, that is demonstration. What does it mean? Are you coming? Tomorrow? It's confusing. When you sign in sign language, it makes deaf person to understand clearly. When it is demonstration, it can lead to confusion. So those who don't know sign language try to use demonstration to communicate with the deaf, but the deaf can be confused with the demonstration.
Okay, that's what you are saying now. It means that we cannot use demonstration to communicate with the deaf.
For those who don't know
For those who don't know sign language, they can use demonstration.
It is not a full language.
It is not a language.
It can lead to misunderstanding.
It can lead to misunderstanding.
It can lead to misinformation.
It can lead to misinformation.
That is it.
That's it.
Thank you very much. You know, learning of sign language, to me, I don't know. I've been seeing people like, for example, now if you enter the aircraft, that is a typical example, people that demonstrate the safety process of when you're in the aircraft in case any emergency happens, the safety. You know, those are demonstrations. So do you mean that persons with the deaf person cannot understand what those people are saying?
I didn't say that, but it can lead to misunderstanding.
Okay.
How would you demonstrate that the plane ready to move?
Okay, if the plane want to move, how will they demonstrate that? And if you do, it means another thing to the deaf. But the best way is to write. Paste it where the deaf person can see it clearly.
Also, they can show.
Also,
the demonstration through written.
They can show it through writing.
Fasten your belt.
Maybe to fasten your belt.
Plane about to move.
Plane is about to move. All these are better than using demonstration. That can lead to misinformation.
Thank you very much for educating us on that. Now, we still want to know further. Now, do we really need to learn sign language in order to communicate to the general public? And why? Yes, I know you said that it's a means of communication like every other language. Yes, but now, person like me now, do I need to learn sign language? Is it a compulsory or a necessity?
Big yes.
If you know sign language,
you don't need to employ interpreter like me.
Okay.
We are friends.
We are friends.
We hardly communicate.
Because you don't know sign language. If no interpreter here, our program here will be difficult to the viewers at home to understand. Because nobody passed information to me. My response cannot be communicated to the public. Sign language is very important. Because we have many deaf people among us. Deafness is disability that cannot be easily identified until you want to communicate to the person. If I'm walking on the road or I'm driving, you will never know that I'm deaf. Now, if somebody wants to ask me a question, many people have tried to ask me to explain a direction to them. When I want to write, they will just walk away. If they know sign language, it will be easier for them to communicate with me. Please, where can I get this place? How can I get this place? Communication becomes easier to the deaf people and the community. Learn sign language to make life easy for the deaf. Passing information across to us becomes easier.
Thank you very much. Don't worry, viewers. It is a compulsory thing for us to learn sign language to enable us communicate effectively to everyone, both the deaf. We can even sit down here and we communicate with sign language, even if we are not deaf. And it's also important in case we have the deaf persons in our midst. That is what we call inclusion. Inclusion and communication accessibility. So let's learn how to sign. I guess I have said it all. It is a big yes that we should know how to sign for effective communication in the society. Thank you very much, Mr. Shola. So I still want to go further again. Now, communicating with sign language, I know the alphabets are not really easy. The way the hands are moving, somebody is talking, the fingers are moving, and how do we start the basic sign language? How do we really start? How do we achieve a basic sign language if we want to learn how? Let's say there are still some people that don't know how to go about it, or they don't have the money to afford a tutor for a sign language teacher, the money to pay a sign language teacher to teach them. Now, how do we learn the basic sign language?
To start with? Sign language is as simple as ABC. People will not understand until they decide to learn it. Once they decide to learn it, it becomes very simple. Like any other goal and determination, you can learn and understand it. I have some blind friends. They cannot see, and they learn sign language. If blind people can learn, I challenge everybody to learn it. It takes commitment, seriousness. You have the willingness to learn it. To learn the basic way. Start with A, B, C, D. From there, you learn some simple words. Before you know it, you'll be able to make some sentence. From there, you'll be able to communicate with the deaf people. You can make photocopy of sign language manual, or go to the internet, Google it, how to learn sign language. Everything will appear there. We are in modern days. Technology made easy. You can learn anything on the internet.
Thank you so much. That's another educative idea. Go online. That is what our phones and laptops are meant for. Go online, get sign language documents, and start signing. That is, sign language comes in alphabets. As you start learning sign language with the normal alphabet we all know, A, B, C. So if you are able to sign A, B, C, you are good to go. So viewers, it's time to learn, because me now, I'm ready to learn. Okay, please, can you just give us the first 4 letters of sign language so that maybe we'll learn that on the first 4 letters.
This is A.
Okay, A.
Letter A. Letter B.
B.
Letter C. Yes, you got it. It's correct. This is letter D.
Okay, that's A.
A.
Okay, A. B. C.
D.
Okay, D. We've been able to grab that. Okay, so you say A, B, C, and D.
Good.
That's a very good one. Thank you very much for teaching us the 4 letters of sign language today. And from there, I know we'll continue learning. We use our phones, our laptops to make sure that we learn the basic sign language in order for us to communicate with the deaf persons in the community. Viewers, we are going on a short break. When we're back, we'll continue with the communication. Don't go anywhere.
Now streaming, now analyzing, now assessing, now discussing, now sharing your thoughts on everything and every issue that affects you. ACNN is now streaming. Discusses the issues trending and the matters that matter to us all. Join us every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. on ACNN as we go in-depth into every issue that impacts our lives, our communities, and our country.
Welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, this is the program Disability Voice. And today our topic is importance of sign language to inclusion in the society. In the studio, we still have Mr. Aderibimpe Oluwashola. And also we have Mrs. Olarewaju Yemisi, who is the sign language interpreter. Mr. Oluwashola is the PRO, Association of the Deaf, Abuja. So the communication still continues. We are talking about the importance of sign language to inclusion in the society. Now, sir, I still want to ask further. For those of us who does not know how to sign, yes, we will learn how to sign, just the way you've started it now. You've started with the 4-letter words. We'll continue from there. And I believe that our viewers will also continue from there by logging to our social media to make sure we get the basic sign language we need to communicate. But before then, in the absence of sign language, how do we communicate with the deaf? For those of us who don't know how to sign, how do we really communicate for them to understand what we are saying until we finally learn how to sign the language, sir?
That is why it is very important for everybody to learn sign language to make it easier. So for how long do you want to continue communicating with them if you don't have learn the sign language? Well, I would say that the best option is to write. If you cannot sign, you write. When you write, it becomes more clearer. In this information age, you can communicate through phone. The deaf don't receive call, but we chat. We communicate on WhatsApp. We communicate on Facebook. We use different platforms of social media to communicate with the deaf.
If you sit and sit down, most deaf people always on phone.
If you see a deaf person sit down, they are always on their phone to get information. If you sit with a deaf person, no paper, no biro, just type on your phone and send the message, they will reply you.
But if you try to, some people come, if you demonstrate to them.
But if you demonstrate, they might understand. But I'm not assuring you that they will understand everything.
To avoid what can lead to problem.
To avoid what can lead to problem, it is better to write. In the absence of sign language, you write.
Thank you so much for that suggestion. So we must learn sign language just to enable us communicate. But in the process of learning the sign language, before we get it, I think we can also communicate by writing with the deaf persons in the community. You know, though it's not easy, but I know it's also easy. Just like Mr. Shola said, if the blind person, the person that is blind, if the person can communicate with sign language, how about we who can see? We can also communicate with sign language. So it's left for us to go out there and start learning how to sign. Thank you very much, Mr. Shola. So now, what do you have to say to the general public, especially our stakeholders in the religious settings that doesn't know how to sign? We have, even there are some government offices whereby you have some deaf persons there, but the process of communication, they don't know how to sign and they leave the deaf persons behind. What do you have to say to the religious gathering in the churches, the communities? What do you have to, which advice do you have for them, sir?
My advice to them is that, as I said earlier, it is good for them to learn sign language. If they see a deaf person, they can make friends with the deaf person. The deaf people will teach them sign language. Once you can sign,
you will see that the deaf will always like to be around you. Because you can understand them, they will like to communicate with you through sign language. Sign language is very interesting. When you learn it, if you don't know it before, you think it's hard. But once you learn it, it's very, very interesting. To religious leaders and to the society, they should rally around the deaf to help them. It is not easy to be deaf. That is where we find ourselves. We cannot sit down there and be crying for that. So we have to face the challenge. And because challenges is part of life, the only problem is the communication. Once we can overcome that, we are good to go. In the past, when there was no sign language interpreter, deaf were abandoned. But now, I'm happy to tell you that we have deaf doctors, we have deaf lawyers, we have deaf directors in government parastatals and government offices. The best way to carry them along is to have sign language interpreter where you know the deaf are there in the church. There should be a class for the deaf in the church where interpreters will be there always. Whatever they are preaching, interpreter will interpret it to the deaf. So also in public programs, the organizer of the program should make it inclusive by employing the service of interpreters. They should not think of the cost. It is very important. They should put themselves in the shoe of the deaf person. People are talking, everybody are talking. How is the deaf understanding it? How are the deaf being carried along? The deaf need to feel belong, be inclusive in the society. So the service of interpreter is very important.
Pass information to the society now and the viewer because
I'm able to pass this information to the viewers now because my interpreter is here.
Thank you so much. So every gathering, you must include sign language interpreters, and it's also very important. We are not leaving us behind. It's very important for everyone to learn sign language. Please, your last word to the viewers on this topic, the importance of sign language to inclusion in the society. What is your last word, sir?
My last word is that please learn sign language. You will like it. It will help the deaf to be carried along, to easily pass information to them, and we are appealing to the viewers. If you have any deaf at home, don't hide them. Deafness is not an insurmountable challenge to greatness. With deafness, you can attain anything you want to in life. We have many deaf that have been flying everywhere all over the world because they face the challenge and they did not allow the challenge to defeat them. They see opportunity and they surpass it. The society, they are happy with that. So those that have deaf children at home, don't hide them. Bring them out. Government is paying attention to them. We have school for the deaf where they can be educated. We have those who are learning skill. Government are ready to help. Government has established a commission for persons with disability where all issues of persons with disability can be taken to. So please key into it. Thank you.
Okay, so okay, thank you very much for the enlightenment. But I still want to ask, before we finally cut today's episode, if parents that have deaf children, where do you think they can register these children? in case they want to register them in schools? Do you have any recommendation for parents who are watching right now?
We have school for the deaf in Kuje. That is where they can register them in Abuja. And in other states, they have deaf school everywhere. They can register their children there. In our association, we are available to assist parents of the deaf. They can contact the presenter, and the presenter will get to us.
Thank you very much for educating us on the importance of sign language interpreter. We are really delighted to have you here today. And also we've learned so much. And we still want to learn something. If I want to say thank you to you now, how do I sign that? The thank you. Okay, I use my two hands. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for coming today. We really appreciate you. And we hope to have you again in future episodes. And I hope you also avail us your time when we invite you again, sir. We really appreciate you. Thank you for coming. And also we want to thank our sign language interpreter today. Really thank you for coming, for helping us to communicate, because without you, this communication won't flow the way it is right now. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate you. So viewers, this is where we draw the curtain of today's episode, Disability Voice, with the topic, the importance of sign language to inclusion in the society. Remember, disability is everyone's business, and the watchword is leave no one behind. Until we come your way again, same time, same station, remain blessed. I remain Favor Agara, your host. Bye for now.